Welcome back to this edition of Helping Hands. My next guest is Bob Calhoun, and he's the Executive Director of Habitat for Humanity. Hi, Bob. Welcome aboard.
Linda. Thank you for inviting me to be here.
Oh, my pleasure. Great program. You're new to the county.
I am.
But not new to Habitat.
That's correct. I've been with Habitat for Humanity on staff now for just shy of 23 years, which is hard to believe. I obviously started as a very young child. And have worked in Florida, North Carolina, and also a couple of years in Latin America with the organization as well. So I arrived here in St. Lucie County in October of 2013, and have just been having a grand time getting things up and running again and providing service to the community.
Well, after all that, now you're in paradise, so it should be good.
It is, of course it's good.
Talk to me about, because we all have this idea that Habitat for Humanity provides houses for people who are homeless, don't have a house. I know that that's not the truth behind it. So
sure.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah, let me just give a brief explanation of this 38-year-old, actually international housing organization. It's an ecumenical Christian housing organization founding on those principles 38 years ago in Southwest Georgia. And it was founded with a vision of being worldwide, and currently Habitat works not just in the U.S. and Canada, but 60 other countries around the world, providing affordable home ownership and preserving home ownership using these same basic principles of how you help your neighbor when they need help. And at the core of that is that it's a partnership. You work together. So we engage the family, we engage the community to create these housing solutions. And secondly, you don't profit from that. So as a nonprofit, we provide affordable home ownership and preserve home ownership at a very affordable price, and seek to maintain that. So it doesn't matter if I'm here in Port St. Lucie working with one of the homeowners you met a few months ago who works in healthcare.
She was great.
Yeah.
She was great. It was her moving into the house. A young lady who was working for a doctor or something, but she was going to school as well for the medical field. And she had a couple of adorable little children. And she now owns a home.
She now owns a home.
And
pays taxes.
What a great way to bring her in as a member of the community. She may be taking care of one of us down the road. I think that you told me she was just graduating, getting ready to take her boards.
For a nursing certification.
That's fabulous. That is. So we're not just picking up people to put into houses. There is a criteria.
There is. And again, Habitat works by taking those families with a need for affordable home ownership and decent housing at the very center of creating that solution. So one of the core principles is that partnership, engaging the community, engaging the homeowners. So we didn't invent the term sweat equity, but I think we put it on the map over the last 38 years as an organization. So the families we work with agree to work with Habitat, which includes helping create their own housing, helping create other folks' housing, also agreeing to repay their mortgages. Because when you met Tanya, she's benefiting in part from the mortgage payments of the Habitat families here in St. Lucie County that preceded her and are repaying for their house with the mortgage to Habitat, which is no interest and very affordable. And likewise, as she makes her mortgage payment, she'll open up those opportunities for other families.
So you're not giving a house away?
We are not. We are not. In fact, since I managed the office, just very recently a check for $40,000 went out the door to the St. Lucie County Tax Office in property taxes, because we have mortgages just like the mortgage I have, where part of that payment is not just the loan but also the escrows for insurance and the next year's property taxes as well. So it's, as you look at kind of this bridge, if you will, of need, we do actually work with people that may at some point in time have been homeless, and sometimes they contact us. And I've personally experienced those contacts where people hear about the opportunity, they're excited about it, they're motivated, and they work, and it may take 2-3 years before they're ready for home ownership, but that's their goal and they stick to it and kind of make it across that bridge. And if you will, it's kind of a joyful end of the housing business, and we kind of graduate all these families into the marketplace, making those good tax-paying citizens that you as a city official enjoy having as well.
Well, that's true. That is true. However, I like the whole idea of being able to put a hand out and to work with somebody. And we talk sweat equity, but it's also them putting skin in the game.
Yes.
Which makes them proud of their home, and it's a stepping stone for them. And many people never got that break. So Habitat coming into this is giving people a break that they may never ever have gotten, and making life much, much better.
Yeah, and the one thing we do give away is the opportunity to arrive at this point through your efforts and a lot of other people's efforts. And Habitat applies those same principles wherever it works. It doesn't matter if I'm with you at a house dedication here in Port St. Lucie, or if I'm up in the highlands of Guatemala, working with folks of Mayan culture, creating homes. It's the same basic principles of self-help and community engagement.
I think that's great. So are you building the houses? Are you, because again, I know that we have some foreclosures. We do. Our focus since I have arrived has been on acquiring some of those foreclosed properties, which there's a sad story behind all of them, and that's very regrettable. But what we're able to do is acquire those homes, often through the cooperation of the banks, discounted sales to us, cooperation from municipalities, and then we do a complete refurbishing of the house, where that house is functionally a new home in all regards, meaning that if we need to replace the air conditioning unit because of age, the roof, update the plumbing, electrical systems, this house is functionally a new home. The people that are doing that work, are they donating their time in most cases? Yes. We're very volunteer driven, both on the construction site and off the construction site. Okay. So you had asked earlier about how families would qualify for a home with Habitat. Excuse me. There are 3 evaluations. One is we're trying to reach people who don't have another opportunity for home ownership. So there is a maximum income and a minimum income. The maximum income is 80% of the area median income, which is a number that the federal government provides on an annual basis. Okay. And it's kind of defines a lot of programs from healthcare to housing in terms of assistance. So we define that they have to be financially ready for home ownership. So we have a minimum income as well, because we want to create an environment for success. And then in addition to those financial requirements, there is a willingness to partner with Habitat. Because the young mother that you met, she did 350 hours of sweat equity while working full time with 2 young children. Amazing. Yeah, it's a huge commitment. And going to school. So, we're working with people that are very driven to improve their lives, the lives of their family. And then lastly, we have a need-based criteria as well. We don't have the capacity to reach everyone, so we try to reach those with the greatest housing needs first. And that's quite a wide spectrum in terms of how you evaluate need. So I think most people, the image that pops into their mind is that of just a rotten building
in a tough neighborhood, and there's sadly enough of that around everywhere. But also, we also define housing needs for those families where perhaps they said, I'm not going to have my kids in a neighborhood where I have to talk to them about what to do if gunshots break out, and not let them out once of the house without me being with them. But they're spending 65% of their gross income in order to provide housing that is safe and decent. So they do that at an extreme financial burden. They're creating that safe housing environment, but they're also falling behind on things like health care for the family and other critical needs as well. So it's a broader spectrum than most people first think.
When we did the dedication, I noticed the neighborhood, and it appeared that the neighbors were a part of what was going on, that they knew about it, they seemed to be good with it, seemed to be a nice neighborhood. In fact, I talked to a gentleman, maybe it was the construction supervisor, who said that he had lived on that street at one point.
Yes, Cameron had.
And had lived there for quite some years before he moved to a new neighborhood. So that's a nice, again, the young lady can feel safe, her children are safe, and the neighbors are okay with what's going on.
Yeah, and that kind of fits into the reasons why we're focusing on acquiring these vacant homes. One, economically, it makes more sense than building new right now, although we are building a few new homes as well. But it gives us an opportunity to be good stewards of the resources that the community has entrusted us with in terms of providing affordable housing. It gets rid of that empty house. I mean, who wants an empty house next door?
Absolutely. Because now it's maintained. I don't have to worry about the grass. I don't have to worry about rodents. I don't have to worry about any of that.
Right. And so it improves that immediate neighborhood. Plus, there's, as we all know, currently there's a surplus of real estate out on the market. So in some ways we help kind of dry up some of that surplus, which eventually helps all of us.
How many houses do you typically do in a year on an average?
Last year we did 9,
okay.
which was a big leap. The Great Recession had an impact on everyone's lives, including the lives of the Habitat organization here in St. Lucie County. So it's been fun to kind of get things back up to speed where we can go back to providing greater service to the community. So additionally, we're beginning to roll out some new programs that Habitat is offering to preserve affordable home ownership within the community. And this consists of some minor repairs that we do for low-income homeowners who perhaps are in a situation where they've got deferred maintenance items that they just don't have the resources to do. So we're going to roll this out in March along with another national Habitat program, which is called Collegiate Challenge, which is an alternative spring break program for colleges. So these are groups that coming from university communities, they're students.
Okay.
As a spring break, they instead opt to come to a location, work with Habitat for that week, and then go back to their campuses.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
And you also have Women's Build.
We also have Women's Build. We had a wonderful experience in October with the first Women's Build here in St. Lucie County in a number of years. That was great fun. In 1 month, the women completely renovated one of these vacant homes and dedicated it on the 4th Saturday. So that was a lot of fun. I baked brownies, which got good reviews, by the way. I knew my role in this one. And we've also been selected by the national organization to participate in the National Women's Build in May, which will take place from May 1st to the 10th. And 300 of the 1,500 Habitat local offices were selected for this program. Lowe's is the anchor sponsor.
Okay.
They're providing support, volunteers, materials, and some financial support to help make this project happen all over the U.S.
So will we be doing another Women's Build in St. Lucie County?
Yes, and the focus of that will be that first week of May and the 2 weekends that kind of bookend that first week of May. So is there a difference between the Women's Build and the Men's Build? Of course, they're better.
Good. Good. Right answer. Right
Thank you.
answer. I don't know. You know, we built a playground years and years ago. They wouldn't let me around anything electric. I don't know why they would hand me a hatchet, but...
Well, that's why Habitat has an entire Women's Bill program with support through the national office. And it's an opportunity to have a women-centric Habitat bill. And I think it's a more welcoming environment for a number of people.
Okay.
And it's just plain fun. It's just plain fun. I'm kind of reminded years ago when my daughter was 13, she went with me to build homes in Guatemala. And she was 13, so she was a little grumpy about the trip in a 13-year-old way.
In a teenager, yes.
But before she went, I taught her how to actually lay blocks and bricks. And once she got there, she was just on cloud nine, because there she was in front of all these people and actually knew what she was doing with masonry work, which usually stumps other people.
Wonderful. You know, that's a big thing to be teaching our children, how to give back.
Yeah, I think that's very important.
And they watch us. Even sometimes when you might think, I'm not spending enough time, I'm out in the community, it comes back at some point that they go, oh yeah, how do we get involved? And you go, oh, they got it. So,
yeah, and we do have programs for young folks. We've got good participation from a number of the high schools in St. Lucie County that come out on a regular basis with volunteer groups. And we enjoy engaging them. So young folks that are 14 and up, we can accommodate on our construction site. And younger than 14, we come up with some other ways so that they can be engaged.
Good.
So it can range from building little planters to have as housewarming gifts that they can assemble and decorate, kind of off a construction site with a little more adult supervision, to, coming on days when we're just doing landscaping, where it's a good environment.
So I'm interested in this new program, though, that you're rolling out to renovate was not the right word, where you are trying to maintain.
Right. It's a repair program.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's not out yet, but it's coming soon.
We're getting our toes in that water now.
Okay. And how do I qualify for that? Is it going to be the same qualifications?
It's
some
those,
sweat equity, some...
Yeah, we handle those just as if it's kind of a small-scale Habitat home project.
Okay.
Meaning that, we do vet the homeowners and to make sure that they qualify. And this is just not a judgment, it's just a matter of stewardship.
Right.
With the way we handle the community's resources. Also, we require that they're engaged in the process itself. And we do charge a nominal fee, which we provided a no-interest loan, which amounts to a small amount, but I'm sure a significant amount to a number of households, so that they are making both a commitment of their time and a modest commitment of their finances. So these first projects will be really focused on the exterior of a number of homes, where we will come in, and this is how it links with all this wonderful energy coming from these college students from Michigan and New Hampshire that will be arriving in March, that they'll be engaged in doing some minor repairs on the exterior of the home, giving it a fresh coat of paint. Maybe the yard needs cleaning up and the shrubbery trimming, and we'll take care of all that. And so it not only helps secure the life of that home and the quality of life for those homeowners, again, it also helps the whole neighborhood.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And unfortunately, some of the seniors, did I say us and seniors in the same word?
I'm a member of the club.
I was not going to put you in that, but reach a point that you're just not able to be out there painting a house or doing some of that work. And fixed income, I can see that that would work great.
Yeah, the community contribution of sweat equity, we've always defined it as community building, whether it is with actually working on the home or supporting the community. I told the story last night to another group where one of the families I worked with, the husband of that family was blind. I mean, he had no vision whatsoever. So he did his very intelligent man. He did some of his sweat equity at the information desk at the public library. Just a very bright person, able to direct people, assist them that way. He actually painted the entire interior of his house with a friend directing his movements, and it was a beautiful paint job as well. So we've always made that engagement possible for people of differing abilities and all abilities, just as the program is open to all people, regardless of their faith or backgrounds.
Great. I think that's fabulous. And I know the city has given you some proprities or are in the process.
We're very grateful of that.
So eventually we'll see some houses on that. I know that that's not your first goal. Your goal is to renovate when you can. But I look forward to those. I know that you're dedicating more houses in Port St. Lucie, and I look forward to that. Bob, it has been great to have you today.
Well, thank you for having me here.
Hopefully we'll have you back, and at your convenience, and let's talk about this again, because great organization. I know that your phone number is up on the screen, so if somebody is in need or wants to volunteer or wants to donate, it's easy enough to get a hold of you and let you know that.
It is, and we operate kind of the principle everybody has something to give, everybody has something to share, and everybody benefits from that process. So,
absolutely.
So will we see you at the May Women's Build, Linda?
You may see me there.
Excellent.
That'll be fun.
It will be.
So, okay, well, Bob, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And we'll be right back after this message.